Hello and welcome to the Magic Millions 2-year-old classic, a runner by runner, brought to you by Racing Queensland for punters.com.au. I'm Alex Donnelly, and as always for these runner by runners, James Lamb joins me. Lammy, how are we, mate?
Very well. First day back, first up from a spell, so looking forward to ripping into this race.
Tell you what, at the moment up in Queensland, we saw the barrier draw this morning. We are recording this on Tuesday afternoon. Bit of rain around, and for later this week, hoping for everyone at the track up there that it does avoid because it doesn't look great.
Yeah, Thursday, Friday looks lovely.
Yeah.
Not a cloud in the sky, but Saturday could get a little bit hairy. Potential thunderstorms, but hopefully they miss too many heavy showers and we stay in the good range, or maybe a soft 5 at worst. But we'll see what happens there.
Rail is out 2 metres this weekend, and of course the Magic Millions Classic is the main race on the day. So as said, it's in the title. We're going to go through this runner by runner. $3 million on the line, 1.739 million to the winner. Geez, it'd be nice, but we'll go through these one by one, and we're going to start off with a replay first of all, Lammy, because we're going to talk about number 1 Ziploc. Once we do that, we'll talk about the speed, but let's take a look at Ziploc at his last start. You can see outside in the blue colours there, he's got Tornado Valley outside of him, but it's a bit of a procession.
Yeah, impressive turn of foot there halfway down the straight. Was given every possible chance. Couldn't have had a better run in the race, whereas Tornado Valley was back and wide from that wide gate. Interesting SP was Tornado Valley was $1.80 on this occasion. Ziploc started $3.20. So I don't think there's a whole lot between them, as the early market would suggest. But yeah, Ziploc couldn't have done much more 2 from 2 at this stage.
And he beat Itching to Go, who obviously won very impressively last week and does back up in this. We'll touch on him. But for the speed, well, Gay and Adrian have a fair few runners in this field, so you assume that one of them is going to be the designated leader, but there is some good speed in it.
I thought Itching to Go showed enough gate speed last week to potentially get across from barrier 11. Woven and Ziploc both drawn to land just off the speed without doing any early work. It's hard though, because the majority of these have shown a fair bit of early dash at various stages, and it's a race where they do go hell for leather. So it's not a clear cut speed map, but I think Itching to Go will go for the lead. Whether it gets across remains to be seen.
For 3 million clams, I think they're going to go fast. As said, number 1 is Ziploc. He is unbeaten, about $7 around the traps at the moment. Drawn perfectly in barrier 3. It's 2 from 2. Can't do much more.
No, and we discussed it previously, but I think at the moment, I think Ziploc and Tornado Valley, I really don't think there's too much between them. And it's hard to knock Ziploc, especially after drawing so well once again.
Tornado Valley was the odds-on favourite in that race. Did win the Maribyrnong Plate during the Cup Carnival here as well. 4th start, 2nd up. You'd assume there's a lot of improvement to come. He'd won his way in by winning the Maribyrnong Plate.
Yep, it was a nice win at Flemington back in the spring, but it's hard to get a gauge on that form because not many of those horses have run since. So it's a hard one to line up. But yeah, as mentioned, excuses on this day from the replay when it drew the outside gate, first Queensland start. Blinkers go on, which is a big one, and drawn a lot better here, barrier 5. So you'd expect it won't be out the back in this. It'll be a lot closer in the run with the shades going on. I think it's a definite chance.
Ethan Brown in these grand final races, we've seen that he flushes them more often than not. Number 3 is Itching to Go. Tony Gollan, Ryan Maloney backs up quickly. We've seen previous years horses with the quick backup do have a very good record. He was odds on out to 270 on debut when well beaten by Ziploc, won the Feel and Ready, then as said, won last week, which was a planned attack by Tony Gollan all the way through. He said, well, he needs to win this race to make sure he gets in. Couldn't have been more impressive. Around the 10, it's like, how good are you? Well, he showed us.
Yeah, he was good that day, but I think undoubtedly a very fast horse, but I think a high-pressure 1,200-metre race might really test him, especially if he has to do a little bit of extra work to get across from barrier 11. I just think 1,200 might see him out.
Number 4 is your favourite, War Woven. We're going to take a look at his last start. You can see there he's in the Cunningham colours in the blue and yellow. Rachel King is all ready to go somewhere, and the gap's about to appear. He is 2 from 2.
Yep, she barely moved a muscle taking that gap there, and then gave him a bit of a rev up and quickly put a gap on them. So, yeah, 2 from 2. Combined margin nearly 5.5 lengths. So he's done it easy in his 2 starts to date, and obviously stalked them in a very small field at Eagle Farm this day. A lot more pressure in this, but Again, drawn ideally, and he's in the right camp to hold his form third up, you'd think. So we'll obviously start very short, and it's hard to find too many knocks.
$2.25 to $1.80 since the barrier draw. Been by sort of state, you think a high-pressure 1200 is going to be right up his alley. Haven't seen, I don't think, what's fully under the hood yet. And obviously, Smash Lumbini, who was well hyped after its win in the debut race. Yeah,
absolutely. And I guess the only thing you consider with these, these hyped juveniles is whether they can hold that level from each start. And I mean, he's done it on 2 occasions. Can he do it on 3? We'll see on Saturday. But yeah, $1.80. That's very, very short to be betting in a race like this, but maybe we'll get even money on the day.
Number 5, Unit 5 for Kieran Maher, Thomas Stockdale. Some interesting colours if you've seen it with the black and white cat on there as well. Won the Magic Millions Classic, started favourite there, won it well. We saw last year Invincible Woman won that well and was well beaten. Melbourne horses have a horrendous record here.
Yeah, did win on debut, time wasn't brilliant, and beat nothing. The runner-up, Kofangan, I've probably butchered that pronunciation, but it was beaten 9 lengths at Geelong at its most recent start. So, yeah, hard to really like that form, so working around Unit 5.
So don't want to come into the $13 there. Number 6 is Knightsbridge for Gay and Adrian. J-Mac takes the ride from barrier 8. Started favourite on debut, was beaten, turned up at Randwick in the early new year. Won well, but want more.
Yeah, I thought it was a decent win, and I thought the first up run was forgivable. Never easy to lead down the Flemington straight, and I think the winner, Euro Canto, looks pretty promising. So, forgiving that effort, look, it's a nice recipe for 2-year-old success when you look at James Harron, James McDonald, Waterhouse, and Bott. Not many knocks there. So, yeah, didn't mind the win in Sydney, and I think upwards of $5 the place does appeal for a horse who I think is just building towards this and is open to further improvement. Obviously, very much like the booking of J-Mac in a big race like this. So, yeah, it was one that I thought was over the odds.
Number 7, we get to the fillies now, is Sheiky, Gay and Adrian, Tim Clark. The winner of the Jim Crack was odds on first up, thought it was going to come out and just win, got beaten by Warwoven. Adrian Bott said, no worries, it'll win next start, and then it'll go win the millions. And here she is winning last weekend, and this was impressive.
It was, yeah. It was, look, a fairly comfortable margin, really. I thought the margin maybe flattered the winner a little bit because the favourite by choice wasn't given much hope at all. I mean, it's never easy to sort of go back and then, circle the field at the Gold Coast. You don't want to be doing too much work around that home turn. So, yeah, it was a very nice win, but Warwoven did give her a bit of a touch-up. 2 back, I guess you could say that.
Did get hit by the sniper on the home turn.
Did start $1.80 that day, which is interesting. So you have to respect the Waterhouse factor. So in the mix, barrier 10, interesting to see where she lobs in the run.
Note that Tim Clark's chosen to ride this over number 8, Lumbini, who's drawn barrier 16, gets Craig Williams, but Tim Clark rode it in the debut where if you haven't seen the replay, she was going to win that by panels and Tim Clark had to knock him down to get out. And then ran second to Warwoven as we saw in that replay last start. Hard to see her turning the tables.
Can't see her turning the tables after drawing barrier 16. That is a seriously awful gate around this track.
Number 9 is By Choice, who we did just mention was in that race coming down the outside late. Jamie Mellon replaces Regan Bayliss. Barrier 4, doing it all in very quick time. This is about 4 weeks since the debut run, and it's coming into the Magic Millions third up.
Yeah, I think could be a sharp improver third up. You did mention the jockey change there, Jamie Mellon replacing Bayliss. It wasn't a great steer from that replay. Did draw wide, so you could be forgiving of horse and rider. Much better gate here. So, yeah, it's one I can see improving, and there was a bit to like about the debut win at Randwick.
Number 10 is Masvingo, filly by Zoostar for Bjorn. Jason Collett, who picks up the ride. He was meant to be riding Paradoxium. That would have been an interesting race if he lined up in this as well. 3 runs, 3 placings, all in nice enough races.
Yeah, solid in 3 runs, but beaten by Sheiky and By Choice, who I think are probably only outside winning chances in this. So got a few ahead of Masvingo.
Number 11 is Mystical by Exceed and Excel. Tommy Berry for Michael Friedman. Runner-up in 2 starts, but was behind Paradoxium at last start. Seems big odds.
Does, yeah. Suited stepping up to 1,200 third up. Berry sticks, which is interesting. I think could certainly get into the minor money without shocking, but don't see her as a winning chance.
McGritt for Stephen Kirkwood. Mark Duplessis draws barrier 17. Was well beaten by Ziploc in the Bruce McLaughlin. I think we can look elsewhere.
Yeah, very hard to make a strong case for this horse.
Number 13 is Tigroni for John O'Shea, Tom Charlton. Zach Lloyd from barrier 7 comes out of that same race last week. Was the horse in the Maroon up on speed there. 3 races, 3 minor placings. I think she needs to lift a little bit.
Yeah, it's another one with that by choice and cheeky form. So you can tie in a lot of the form here. But yeah, drawn well in barrier 7, but would need to improve quite a bit to be challenging some of the better chances.
Are you a Lord of the Rings fan, Lammy?
I am indeed.
Number 14, Leaves of Lorien. I picked it up on it straight away. I was like, this is great. James Moore trains. Cody Collis, barrier 14. Just turning up every week and running and picking up a check.
Yeah, still a maiden after 5, unplaced in a couple of much weaker races than this and comfortably held by Ziploc and Warwoven at her last couple. So, no.
I was really hoping there'd be like a Gimli syndicate or something involved in this with the naming, but as we know...
She'd beat home Gimli, but I don't think she'd be beating home these.
Yeah. Number 15 is In a Bit for Michael Hickmott. Michael Rod, barrier 15. We saw it falling out of the back of the TV in that race behind Sheiky last start. Started at $1.26 at start 2 in a 3-horse race and got beaten 10.
Yes, that was not ideal for anyone who had her in multis that day. But yeah, I just don't think the SA 2-year-old form is strong enough. And you'd have to say that's on the money given her Queensland debut wasn't flash.
Number 16, Double Cool, Chris and Corey Muntz, D-Lane, barrier 2, runner-up in both races, I thought was good last week behind Sheiky, third up by Cool as a Beal can improve.
I agree with you there. Loses McDonald begets Lane. Yeah, I thought a horse that will definitely appreciate the rise to 1200. Still got a little bit of work to do to turn around a 2-length margin on Sheiky, but does loom as a horse that can show nice improvement. Barrier 2, so should get an economical run. Just might need a few breaks to go its way in the straight.
The emergency, number 17, I ran so far for Des Forster. KWT from barrier 1. I thought was all right on debut and then didn't have the best of runs at last start.
Yeah, don't think it's shown enough in 2 runs to be figuring here. Another one who could sneak runs along the paint. But top 5 for me looks absolute best case scenario.
And Fine Sierra has already been scratched. So we'll go to your top 4 before we get the $100 betting strategy. Lammy?
Yes, very hard to tip against Warwoven, but I've tried to find a little bit of value in the strategy. But my top 4 is Warwoven the win, Knightsbridge I've got in for second, Tornado Valley and Ziploc for fourth. I really don't think there's much between Tornado and Ziploc.
Yep.
But the $100 betting play, I'm going to have 50 the place on Knightsbridge.
Okay.
At around $5 as we record this, and a little same race multi, if you don't mind. So Warwoven to win, and Knightsbridge top 4.
Okay.
So no odds available for that one yet. Generally, the same race multis don't become available until the day of the race, or maybe the day before if it's a big race. So I'd imagine we'll get sort of $5 or $6 for that same race multi. But yeah, Knightsbridge the place, 50 clams would be a nice return for us there.
That's a strong first up performance from you, Lammy.
Well, I didn't want to just have 100 to win on the favourite at $1.80. There's not much meat on the bone there.
Well, that is the Magic Millions 2-year-old Classic Field, all previewed at Runner by Runner, of course, brought to you by Racing Queensland. Of course, you can get all the written write-ups for later in the week across punters.com.au. Make sure you do check out Hold All Tickets because it's back this week, Lammy. So you, Brown Dog and Marcus all ready to go?
Yep, Marcus in a moon boot. Yep. So we'll see how we go.
And out the gate, for those who pay attention to the show on RaceNet, is back for 1 week only because, well, going on holiday on Friday, so we're back for 1 show and then we're off for 3 weeks.
You've deserved it. It's been a big 2 weeks to start the year.
Exactly. But we'll catch you next time for a Runner by Runner preview.
Imagine what you could be buying instead. For free and confidential support, call the number on the screen or visit the website.